are you all this morning? Excited to be here. Yes. Recovering from the game last night. Okay. Well, again, welcome all. Welcome to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence. Welcome on this first Saturday. Man, where's my head? The first Sunday in April. And it's beautiful outside, and peace to all of you. Let's take a centering breath and open to the divine in all of us and listen to this prayer. On this day, we dedicate our hearts to peace on earth. We appreciate each individual's spiritual journey and the abundant blessings bestowed upon us. In unity with all who seek to express freedom, joy, and transformation, we welcome our divine inheritance as creators. We come from love, as love to be love, in harmony with the truth. We live to the best of our ability with a peaceful mind, a peaceful heart, and a peaceful spirit. And so it is. Amen. Our prayer chaplains are trained to hold sacred space and pray with you one-on-one. If there's anything in your heart to be held in prayer, we invite you to see a chaplain following today's service at the front of the sanctuary. And now please welcome our prayer chaplain, Karen, for a special prayer.
As you can see on the screen, this is a little girl. Her name is Charlie. She is the granddaughter of Robin and David, who are in our congregation. And we would like to say a special prayer for her because she is going to go through an open heart surgery. And that's tough for anybody of any age, but she is little and tiny, and she will be going through something that she does not fully understand. And so from that prayerful place, let's just take a breath and reach down into your heart and remember the innocence and purity of your childhood before you knew anything, when you were just an original blessing in this world and still are. And we bless Charlie because she is a blessing unto us. We bless her with strength and courage as she moves through this procedure and the processes surrounding it. We see her uplifted in our love, wrapped in our love, like a warm blanket. And we see this blanket of love spreading out onto her family, her parents, her grandmamas, her grandpapas, and all of her family. We see them strengthened and comforted and knowing that she will do well. We also bless the medical hands that will touch her, that will perform those processes and procedures upon her. We see divine wisdom and divine love being activated in those people. And we know that all will be well, so that Charlie will smile upon us once again. And perhaps someday we'll get to meet this little girl in person. And we give thanks for that. We give thanks for her sweetness, her purity, her innocence. And we know that is the truth of in our being too, and the truth of this prayer. Thank you, God. Amen. And now, as unity people, we do, if you'd rub your hands together and direct that energy right to Charlie, right through the screen, right to her little being. And we say, Charlie, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the divinity in you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And now please all stand and join as you can and join Holly in singing, Yes, I Am.
I know who my source is. I know who I am. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. I know who my source is. I know who I am. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Let's sing that one again. I know what my source is. I know who I am. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. I know who my source is. I know who I am. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. Yes, 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 I am. And now let's try to greet each other with a handshake or a hug or hello. Do the second verse. I know what my truth is. I know where I stand. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. I know what my truth is. I know where I stand. I'm standing on solid ground and connected and whole I am. Yes, 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 I am. I know what my truth is. I know where I stand. Part of all that is connected and whole I am. I know who my truth is. I know where I stand. I'm standing on solid ground and connected and whole I am. Yes, 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 I am. I'm really quiet. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. One time really loud. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Thank you, Holly, and thank you, everyone. Now it's time to share our unity intentions. Please affirm with me unity's founding principle. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement. Together, united in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And now our Unity of Lawrence mission statement together. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. Now, please welcome our special music guest, Catherine Lorenzen.
Thank you. It's always so lovely to be with this particular congregation. This is very special, and I love singing in this room. And to you, thank you. When a heart is parched and stops looking for water, when a heart is restless and stops looking for sleep, when a heart is cold and it can't find shelter, no love brings laughter, no pain makes it weak, and it's a desert heart that don't mind the sun, and it's a desert rain that seldom comes. There's life in the desert that you never see, heart like a desert waiting patiently. When it lies in the seed, the flower dreams in peace, asleep in the earth until the tender hand of rain coming down, the drought to cease, and sun like a kiss upon the desert sand, and it's a desert heart that don't mind the sun, and it's a desert rain that seldom comes. There's life in the desert that you never see, heart like a desert waiting patiently. And after the rain, the desert comes to life, and everything hidden comes to life. In the space of a day, it blooms and dies, till grace like a blanket comes with the night, and it's a desert heart that don't mind the sun, and it's a desert rain that seldom comes. There's life in the desert that you never see, heart like a desert waiting patiently, and it's a desert heart that don't mind the sun, and it's a desert rain that seldom comes. There's life in the desert that you never see, heart like a desert waiting patiently. Waiting patiently.
Phil relocated to Lawrence 8 months ago after spending the last 13 years in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. He has a daughter and a granddaughter here in Lawrence. He found Unity of Lawrence in June and has made it his spiritual home. He created an art program for gifted and talented youngsters in Garland, Texas, and taught 29 years overall. He began to study, practice, and teach integral yoga in 1969, and more recently was a senior Dharma instructor of Tibetan Buddhism, which he continued in Mexico and for the past 7 years has been working with non-dual meditation. He is currently facilitating a meditation group here each Tuesday evening. He enjoys creating visual art, especially mandalas, playing guitar, writing poetry, Tai Chi, and watching clouds move across the sky. Welcome, Phil.
Kathy told me 45. Okay, everyone, I'm in a hurry. I have basically 3 things I want to throw out as quickly as possible, the first 2 at least. And I want to spend a little more time on our meditation. That's my plan, so we know how that goes. So I want to look at 3 different things. One is the perennial philosophy or perennial wisdom. The other are the 5 unity principles, and the other one is meditation itself. So I'm going to jump right in. Now, the name of this talk is The State of the Ever Free. Now, I realize that I'm in the free state, and but we're talking about something a little bit more metaphysical than the history of our local community, which certainly has its importance. So the ever free, I want to define what that means. It's synonymous with the idea of liberation, nirvana, absolute awakening, illumination. I don't use the word enlightenment too much. That one's a little too loaded, so I don't say it, but yeah, it's moving in that direction. So anyhow, what I want to do, and I'm just going to list them. I'm not going to take time to discuss the unity principles. Hopefully you're all aware of them. Some of you may not. One of the things I love about unity, it only has 5 principles instead of 108 Vedas, and Tibetan Buddhism is rather ornate. So this is very simple. I love it because, and I'll get to that in a minute. So number 1, God is all. Number 2, you are God. 3, co-creating with God. 4, communion with God. And 5, expressing God. So I want to jump over to the book of Genesis. And there's a little story about the tower and the Tower of Babel, or Babel, I don't know how to say that, 11:1-9. The descendants of Noah, who very likely spoke Hebrew, built a little culture after the flood. And then they kind of started getting a little arrogant and a little proud of themselves. And they decided to build this tower up to heaven. And they wanted to kind of take over the role of God in the world and to be God-like and independent of God. And I can kind of understand that. New Testament version is pretty harsh sometimes. So anyhow, so the story is that this didn't really please God, so he did whatever he does, and he kind of zapped them, and they all of a sudden were speaking different languages. Okay, so that's the way the story goes. But I have a little different take on it. What if instead of a punishment, it was a part of some kind of master plan, and these people scattered into different areas, they grouped together, started their own cultures, and then, in time, they developed their own unique belief systems. Now, what if in this process, what we call God said, okay, I'm going to give each culture a piece of a puzzle. But I'm not, they don't speak the same language now, so they're going to have time to cultivate this piece, build a religion around it if they choose, and most of them did. So that is important. We'll come to why in just a second, and we're here now. So this is let me see here. I left something out. So each piece of the puzzle was a small section of the absolute truth. That's important. And what if God planted in the hearts and minds of a few people in each culture to feel a deep urge to reassemble that divine principle, that divine puzzle? And so that takes us to the Perennial Philosophy, where it's really quite old. There's evidence of belief systems in the early humans. It's 50,000 years old. This is old stuff. The Egyptians go back into prehistory, and their culture lasted for 3,500 years. And then we have the culture on the Indus River Valley, what we call Hindus, which is not what they call themselves, but we'll go with that. That's 7,000 BC. So this is old stuff, but big chunks of the puzzle were in that culture, and we'll come to that in a minute. So, the oldest scripture in India is the Rig Veda. I don't have the date on that, but it's pretty old. But there's a man named Patanjali who wrote down a tradition that was about 5,000 years old. It was an oral tradition. He wrote it down, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So that's a very important collection of the pieces of the puzzle there. So then there were parts of the Vedas. The Veda is a term meaning the collection of the spiritual knowledge. So one of the treasures of the Vedas is the Bhagavad-Gita. And this is really important to us, believe it or not. I'll get to that. The general timeline is you've got Judaism that's about 2000 BC or BCE, Buddhism 600 BC, Taoism 5 to 600 BC, Christianity we'll just say 33 AD. As a religion as such, it was a little later than that, but we'll start with Jesus, why not? And Islam 600 years after Christianity, so that's 600 AD. And these are estimates. If you're a history person, forgive me, I'm not. So anyhow, all of these cultures hold pieces of the puzzle. Now, so we're going to fast forward to 1947. An author named Aldous Huxley wrote a book entitled The Perennial Philosophy. He saw the thread of continuity that runs through all of the mystical traditions. Now, it's not all the religions. You have an exoteric, which is the outer aspect of religion, and then you have the esoteric, that's the inner teaching. So the mystical traditions are esoteric or metaphysical. And names like Kabbalah and Vajrayana, the secret of the golden flower, the cloud of unknowing, and the Sufi tradition, all of these things are the inner traditions that you may have come across. So there's a summary of the Perennial Philosophy. So I want you to listen to this, and then I want to relate it very briefly to our 5 unity principles. So the first one is that there is a Godhead or source, which is the unmanifested principle of all manifestation. Now, just for fun, I thought I would insert a quote from Max Planck, who happens to be a scientist, a quantum physicist. And he does not stand alone. Many of his fellow physicists would say something similar to this. So he said, there is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by a virtue of a force. we must assume behind the force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. This mind is the matrix of all matter. Now, he probably would have choked if he went ahead and said that was God, but there's a few other physicists who would say, no, we can call it that. Both Einstein and Stephen Hawking used the term mind of God to refer to the whole universe. So this is very interesting how the new sciences are reinforcing this idea that consciousness is the source of all that is, and that consciousness is that divine Godhead, or whatever we want to call it. And number two, and that's in line with our first principle, God is. There is no not God. So, number two, in the summary, that source is transcendent and immanent. Now, let's simplify that. That means that it's in the outer world and it's in the inner world. It's in the material world and the spiritual world. Whatever world you want, it is that source consciousness, period. There's no other thing. It's real simple. If the God created the universe, what did he use, or he, I don't like to call it he or she, they, what did they use for raw materials? If there's no thing, and then there is everything, what composes everything? That's kind of a no-brainer to me. So anyhow, number three, it is possible for human beings to love, know, and awaken as that source. Now, to know, that doesn't mean to have a belief system that explains it. It means to actually experience the truth of it directly. And to merge with the love frequency of the universe, to realize that we are love. We're not loving. It's not falling in and falling out. We are the embodiment of divine love. This is a part of the perennial thread. And awaken as that source. That's our second principle. You are that. You are God. Tat tvam asi. Thou art that. So then number four, that to achieve this unitive knowledge, or oneness, unity, hint, hint, to realize the supreme identity is the final destination and purpose of human existence. So now they're talking about the state of the ever-free. That when we attain this state of liberation, when we understand the limitation of this perceived reality. You know, Einstein said, this world is an illusion, but it's a very persistent one. Yeah, he was quite the joker, that Albert. One of my heroes. I liked his hair mostly. That there is a path of wisdom which must be embraced, or a way which must be followed. If humans are to achieve that final destination. This way or path, this is my commentary on this one. This way or path cultivates in loving kindness and compassion and the expression of our God nature through service. So there's our co-creation and our express God principle. So that's pretty darn parallel in my opinion. So now here's where it gets interesting. So how do we get to unity, us here today? How do we get here and call ourselves the unity movement? So we come out of the New Thought movement, which is really just a rediscovery of the Perennial Philosophy. There were enough of the pieces together for some people to begin to start thinking a little bit differently than the big church, the Catholic Church. We owe a lot to Martin Luther. when he tacked those 95 theses on the door and was promptly excommunicated. Fortunately, he kind of got out of Dodge in time and ended up forming his own church. That was 1517. So then there was a whole bunch of science. We have to thank people like Galileo and Copernicus who had the nerve to stand up against the church. And a few of them didn't make it. The Spanish Inquisition was not a lot of fun unless you're watching Monty Python. So I love that. Who expects the Spanish? Anyhow, so philosophers like Jacob Boehm in 1575, Immanuel Kant, 1724, David Hume, Swedenborg, a bunch of people. I'm leaving out. I don't have time to go into all the detail. This is a Cliff Notes version of all this. So anyhow. And we even see the Theosophical Society eventually appearing. This is a little later in the story. But in 1836, the Eastern traditions reached the minds and heart of Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau. They had access to the Vedas. They began to read this stuff and really were just totally transformed by it. The Lotus Sutra was published in English, Buddhist writing. So anyhow, and other things. And so there was a thing, they actually called it the Transcendental Club. So this was a lot of thinkers, a lot of people, and this is really the origin of the New Thought movement. That these were people that were really taking old thought and giving it new life in the United States, in the Western world. And this spread out into other parts of the world, as the perennial philosophy tends to do. So anyhow, so now we have even more pieces of the puzzle taking shape. And they were aware of Eastern meditation techniques. Now, meditation has been a part of everything I've been talking about. All of these traditions, these inner traditions, these mystical traditions rely on some form of meditation. Is there a correct one, a best one? No. There's only one that works for us. So we have to find that for ourselves if we want to follow this path. And it's optional. We don't have to do anything in particular if we don't want to. We can stay asleep and just kind of stumble through life. And the Eastern people would say life after life after life after life. Just somebody keeps saying that forever. And there was transcendental meditation long before the Maharishi and the Beatles. They just kind of grabbed that name. But it's been around a long time. And so now the Eastern version that we know now, the yoga, we owe that to Swami Vivekananda and Paramahansa Yogananda and D.T. Suzuki brought Zen over, I think. So anyhow, it came over in its original form eventually, but it was already in place in the minds of a small section of American culture. It's still a small section, but it's an ever-growing section. Like I have a feeling most of you are following what I'm saying quite well, because this is a part of our time. So many blossoms of the perennial seeds that were planted at that the Tower of Babel experience, planted in the hearts and minds of different people in these different worlds, are bearing fruit. So that one of the fruits, we probably are aware of Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind. But before Ernest Holmes, we have, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who are the founders of Unity in 1889. So then came Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind, and more contemporary teachers that I'm sure you're aware of, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Dr. Joe Dispenza, many, many others are in line with the New Thought movement, and they don't necessarily call it that, but they are. It's not a club, it's not an organization, it's just an idea that connects the truth in all of these different places. So, and I'll add again that there's a scientific element that is a new factor in the perennial philosophy. Some of the most spiritual stuff I have come across lately is coming from the new sciences, the epigenetics and neuroplasticity and all of that. So I want to stop here, and then I have another little part, and I think we'll have another song, right? And then after that, we'll go back into the last part and go right on into our meditation. Okay?
Love, love, love. Love is a river of light and soul. A river of light and soul. Let us rise now and go to the river. Let us go. Let us go to the river of love, love, love. Let us go. Let us go to the river of love. Joy, joy, joy. Joy is a river of light and soul. A river of light and soul. Let us rise now and go to the river. Let us go. Let us go to the river of joy, joy, joy. Let us go. Let us go to the river of joy. Time is always moving, and we move through time. It is the medium, the message, and the rhyme. Peace, peace, peace.
to the river. Let us go. Let us go to the river of peace, peace, peace. Let us go. Let us go to the river of joy, joy, joy. Let us go. Let us go to the river of love, love, love. Let us go. Let us go to the river of love. Let us go to the river of love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love.
Okay, we're kind of short on time, so I'm going to run through 6 different, I call them stages in the meditation process. Anyway, but what I'd like for you to do is just to kind of sit back. You can close your eyes if you want, and I'm just going to kind of talk you through these stages, and if you can follow them internally, you can attain the free state within 5 minutes. 4. Okay. Okay, the first thing is to relax. We enter into the present moment and honor the sacredness of the present moment. If we watch the breath, we are connecting to life itself. So our breath is sacred. Life is sacred. Every moment is sacred. That's the only place where we live. So we go into that. Relax the body, relax the mind. Let go of everything that's not right here, right now. Number 2, open to love. We take our awareness and focus it on the heart center, in the center of our chest. We connect with the divine love that is within us and surrounds us and is actually everywhere in the cosmos. So we connect to that. We experience joy and gratitude. It's a good place to release your prayers because we're still thinking. We're still in the mind. So the third step is to release. This is important. This is the key. To release reliance upon absolutely everything that is in your mind. That means I am no body, I am no one, I am no thing, in no time, in no space. No, 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 no. Empty of concept. No thing. Now, this is just during the meditation. Don't panic. Everything will fall back into place when you're done. But in the meditation, you release the reliance upon it. We do not fight with the ego. The ego is not the enemy, except certain parts of it are not very helpful. We need to work on that. But we release our reliance upon conceptual thought. We are in the silent stillness of the inner state. Now, at that point, we have entered the kingdom of heaven. Because our higher self, our highest self, our Atman, is a manifestation of the one source consciousness. We are God. God resides in that stillness all the time. It doesn't go away. We're the variable. We remember and we forget. But it's always there. It's the always is. We are in the energy, the frequency of the free state consciousness. Or I like to say unity consciousness, because we are merging with the oneness of our being. So we enter into that silent stillness. We can contemplate the vastness of infinite consciousness, that consciousness that is the source of all that is. We merge with that, and we feel a sense of expansion. We are not limited to this body, this brain, this head. Out, 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 into infinity. into eternity. The oneness, the love of God extending out in every direction. So we enter into that. We are in the presence of our own higher self. And we don't have to go any further than that. But if we choose, we can go into a state of merger, where we merge with the source consciousness. The connection to that is just a little bit above our head. So we move our awareness up into the source consciousness, and we feel the oneness. And the best thing to do there is to be open and receptive, silent and still. Listen. But that's also a very appropriate place to release our intention. If we do intention work, it's higher level prayer, because you're praying in a frequency more than in a language. But language can be a part of it too. There are no rules to any of this. So then, we return. We bring it back down. We come back into the head, or back into the throat area, or the heart. And we bring that unity experience, that oneness, that awareness of our true nature, we bring it back into our life. And so we become aligned with the highest self, which is the Christed self, which is the Buddha nature, which is the whatever you want to call it. It is the God within. We are that. We merge with it. It flows into our personality, and our skills and our talents and our relationships and our work and our travel and our enjoyments all become amplified, become spiritualized by the realization of our true nature. So that's what we do every Tuesday at 6:30. A little bit longer than that. So you're all invited if you're interested in this. I'd be glad to. The idea is for people to develop their own practice. We're not following any particular tradition or any particular method. So it's the idea is to get some experience. These steps are elements of it, and you can use them any way you wish. It's a very personal thing. So we become our own spiritual guide, our own guru. Okay? So thank you very much, and I really appreciate the opportunity to share this with you.
I will pause and tune because I care about you. All around the waters rising, stress abounds and fires burn. There's confusion now in everyone. On how to mend and what to learn. If I can pause to feel the spirit, the moment's always mine to choose. Well, it's then I hear the music, It's the singing of the muse. When it seems there's too much trouble, for joy and beauty to be found, just when we think we cannot feel it, divine inspiration comes around. We all have a gift within us, even when we feel the blues, when we pause to hear the music, it's the singing of the muse. When we pause to hear the music, it's the singing of the muse.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Catherine. As our ushers come forward for our time of thanks, I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. Let's affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that and all that I receive. And so it is.
Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me. Who I am is holy, holy are we. Body, thought, emotion, connecting you and me. Great Spirit circles all around me. What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, celebrate the day. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me. Great Spirit circles all around me.
As our ushers come forward, here is our prayer of thanks. Please listen. We are grateful and we bless the flow of good that supports our unity community. We bless the givers who give their time, talent, and treasure. We stand in knowing that the flow of good goes forth only to return again and again, and so it is. Amen. And now it's time for announcements. Yay! A special welcome to our Unity guests today. Thank you for joining us. If you would like more information about the Unity movement and Unity of Lawrence, pick up a welcome packet in the lobby. The Lunch Bunch is meeting at Big's Barbecue at 2429 Iowa Street. All are welcome. Our weekly meditation groups meets on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. in the sanctuary. Everyone is welcome. Come early and join us on Sunday mornings for a time of fellowship at 10:30 a.m. downstairs. Enjoy some fresh brewed coffee and treats with your Unity family. Calling all gardeners. Starting next Saturday, April 9th, and continuing on Saturdays through April. We will meet from 9 a.m. to noon and work on the gardens and yard. Bring your water, gloves, hats, chairs, and garden tools as we will all help to awaken our gardens. We will be joined on April 23rd by KU students participating in the KU Big Event. They will help us spread mulch and continue the work on the gardens. Let us all help to get the yard looking great. And please join us next week as our own Holly Taylor brings us the message, The Seeds of Intention, with special music by Tim Behrens. And now it's time to sing in our youth. They're coming.
Why don't we stand and we'll greet them. You are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. You are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. You are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. You are walking as the light of God.
Good morning. Our lesson today was called Divine Love, and we read a book called What Color is Love, trying to think about what color means love. And so we discovered in this book that love is everything, everywhere, in all colors, because as the world was created, it was created in love. And so our affirmation today that they're going to say, you ready? Yeah. Our 5 words.
Without love, I am nothing.
Yeah, we talked about how even the care that we receive, the clothes that they wear, the food they get put in their stomach, that's all because they are cared for in love. And without that, they have nothing, and they would not be here without that.
Thank you, Danica. And so, congregation, let's bless our youth. Let's rub our hands together, and together we say, we bless you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. Thank you, thank you. And now, because our vision is celebrating a peaceful and abundant world for all, let's all join in and sing the peace song.
Let there be peace.